talk to us about your arrival in Australia, because we'll gradually get on to 2001 and your election to Parliament.
1974, the plan was to come to Australia and then actually, I do things very much on a whim, without a good thought process. And so I was going to come to Australia, I was going to go to New Guinea, get myself a boat, and then sail down through the Galapagos to South America, because I heard there was a really good guy down there called Che Guevara. I'm really pleased I didn't make it. But
He wishes you had.
yeah, but that was the sort of the thought process. As I say, I'm very much a free spirit, and what grabs me at the moment takes me. I arrived in Australia in 1974 with this plan, but it didn't last long because I came across Indigenous people who weren't African. Because you've got to remember, in England in 1974, nobody knew there was an Aboriginal population in Australia. So having, just prior to getting here, I was in 1972 in the Bangladesh Civil War with Oxfam, doing relief work. That was a bit of my sea change. Got here to Australia and went, who are these people? And a job came up at Yirrkala to go up and work with the First Nation people, the Gumatj people in Arnhem Land, and so I grasped that. And then for the next 10 years I worked on remote Aboriginal communities, Yirrkala, Fink, Papunya, and it was only because of a bureaucratic stuff-up that I didn't stay there. I was then sent to Yalata to take up a position at Yalata, only to find that my house hadn't been built yet. It was planned for the next year, you know. So,
I mean, Robin, I've been to the beautiful seaside town of Rye and outback WA and Northern Territory. I mean, you couldn't. There's no bigger difference in those two worlds.
No, absolutely. Oh, mind you, the Romney Marsh, very flat.
Well, when the tide runs
barren,
out.
yes.
And you can walk to France, I guess.
That's right. But again, the big wide open spaces, flat land, big space, really appeals to me.
A bit more water than there's up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, depends, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I suppose I wanted to experience. Everything has been about wanting to experience in my life. And so going out there and working with First Nation people, I was very privileged at Papunya. We were still meeting people in first contact. And so that was fascinating. And very important for my understanding of Aboriginal society and people in general. There was an old man called Nosepeg Jubarula out there, who was actually the man who found Lassiter's body with Bob Buck. And we were out on country, we got stuck out one day and we couldn't do anything, so he started talking about law and culture and those sorts of things. And he said, the problem with you white fellas is that you don't understand that you want to own land, but from our perspective, the land owns us. Now, it's a concept that I've struggled with ever since then. I can sort of comprehend it, but I can't understand it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And you talk to many Aboriginal people and you use those words and they say, that's it. And I don't think until we actually grasp that this it replaces in our society what we call our parental structure, our family tree. That's their family tree. And that's why you suddenly get this huge relationship to country, the importance of country. And so, if anything, that's what I learned out of that process.